external member and all. Because I am a clinical head, sometimes people like believe that I can give a solution. Sometimes they come over with some court complaints. So I'm not much aware of the certificate things. So I thought if I do a certificate course in that, I will have a better option instead of depend on someone's support. I can give a solution for the issues in my centers. And I'm planning like in nursing colleges and those colleges, they don't have any court committee and all. So if I gain a knowledge from it, I'm planning to help them in make a committee, treat them, and all those things. So that's the reason I started, joined it.
Okay, okay.
Thank
So
you.
you already are a member of an IC committee?
No, I'm not a member of internal committee because like they have asked me, I was not having much knowledge about it. So maybe if I
Okay,
finish the course, I will.
okay, okay. That is good. Anyone else?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, my name is Omkar. I am currently working as Deputy Manager Compliance. I am from Mumbai. I'm joined here because I want to aware that about this as the POSH Act. I know the returns and she works resistant. I already do that, but I want to clear it deeply regarding that.
Okay.
Hello, ma'am.
Next. Yes.
Hello.
I am from Uttarakhand. My name
Okay.
is Navneet, and I am currently working as a school coordinator with 15 years of experience in the field of education. So I
Okay.
have dedicated my career to teaching, student guidance, counseling, and school administration. I hold
Okay.
qualification in MSc Botany, MEd, MS Psychology, and MS Sociology. Throughout my professional journey, I have participated in numerous faculty development program, and I think this is one of best my development program. So I want to know about POXO and I want to know about post training. So it is help my educational curriculum. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. Next.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
This is Amruta. I'm a second year law student from Nagpur, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar School of Law, and I wanted some knowledge about this other than my curriculum. So that's why I joined it. I joined Lawchemy and hence updated for this. Thank you.
Hi,
Thank
I'm
you.
Himani. I'm a practicing civil lawyer, but I've done my master's in maritime law from Nalsar, Hyderabad. But POSH was an area of interest, so I just wanted to see where that goes. That's it.
Okay. Okay, okay.
Hello, myself.
Anyone else?
Is my voice audible? Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, is my voice audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, hi. Myself, I'm Hemant. I am like teaching HR in prayer emergency. So as a HR, I have some knowledge how to handle the POSH committee and how to handle the POSH issues internally. But till now, I didn't handle myself. But this is the time I need to handle. So I want to know more about the POSH and what cases comes under POSH, how to handle.
Actually, sir, your voice is not clearly audible. Can you speak a little louder?
Okay, so now is it audible now?
No, not really. Okay, anyone else wants to introduce?
Hi, good evening, all.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
my name is Satish. I'm from Chennai, working as an
Yes.
HR recruiter in manufacturing
Okay.
unit.
Okay.
Actually, I scrolling down the Instagram, seeing this course certificate ad. So
Okay.
interested to do the course. That's it. Nothing apart from that.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Dharni. I'm from Chennai. I'm an HR recruiter. So, as Mr. Satish said, same like I have seen your post in Instagram, so I registered. I would like to learn and get knowledge about POSH. Thank you.
Hi, hello everyone. My name is Advocate Mridul. As an advocate and a legal educator, and I have the opportunity to conduct awareness sessions and lectures on the POSH Act at various educational institutions. Since this is a subject that directly relates to my professional work, that's why I thought that it would be beneficial for me to gain a professional certificate on this particular subject.
Okay. Is there anyone else left?
Hello.
Yes. Hello.
Hi, good evening. I'm Renju Kurian from Kerala. I'm working as an HR officer. I'm looking for this opportunity to looking for an exposure in my career and for getting good knowledge in the act. Okay, thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, my name is Advocate Vikram Naule, and I'm practicing advocate and having interest into the new horizon of legal practice.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Is there anyone else who wants to introduce? Okay. So what I got from all of your introductions is few of you are HRs, few of you are advocates, some of you are students. So I have a mix of legal and non-legal audiences. No worries, we have a complete design course that will help the legal as well as non-legal audiences to completely understand the POSH course from the basic to its all coverage of all its acts, section, everything. So let's just begin. I won't be able to see your chat box. If is there any doubt, we can clear that out in the end of the session.
Hi, Jay, I just have one question.
Yes.
When will the record? There might be times when I'll not be able to attend your sessions, and I was told that live recorded sessions will also be provided. So,
Yes.
what would be the timeline of you providing us with those recorded lessons?
Okay, so we'll be providing the recorded sessions within 48 hours. Like if today's and tomorrow's session, we'll be providing it to you by Monday. Like that.
Okay, got it. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yes. So let's just
Just one more
start.
doubt.
Yes,
Sorry
yes.
to interrupt.
Yes.
Is the session is daily evening it will be there?
No, it's just Saturday, Sunday, 8 to 9 p.m.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, is my screen visible?
Yes, screen is visible.
Yes. So there's this quote, the day a woman can walk freely on the roads at night, that day we can say that India has achieved independence. This is a very famous quote given by Mahatma Gandhi, which is around 7 decades ago, right? But even in today's time, we feel that this quote is quite very relatable to all the women out there because we are not safe, we are not able to walk freely on the roads at night, and we are not given that surety and safety and security that we can walk throughout, right? So let me just start with an example. Whenever we as a woman we step out of the house, like we step out of our own houses or homes, So we have that alert mode on, we have that alert zone wherein we are always conscious about what will be happening to us next. We have that sixth sense that we are always aware that whenever we have to be conscious, whenever we have to step ahead, whenever we feel that we are in danger, we always get that sixth sense, right? So whenever you come back home, you have that thing that you are safe around and you can now relax. So these are the two different scenarios that always occur. One is at your house itself, one is at your home, and another is when you step out of your house, right? So these two different scenarios create two different mindsets. Like when you are at home, you will always be calm, relaxed, comfortable. And whenever you are at outside the house, like whenever you step out of the house, you have that alert mode on, that you have to be conscious about what is happening around you, and what are the things that are surrounding you, what is the environment out there, and how you have to behave. Okay, so as a woman, talking about the workplace is something that is considered as the second home. So you spend like 8 to 10 hours of your whole day there. So don't you think there has to be something that should give you that surety, that should give you that security, that okay, everything that is going to be in this place, I will be safe, I will be secure, and nothing is going to happen. But this is not the scenario. This is not the ground reality at all. As a woman, you have so many thoughts, you have so many things that pop up into your mind. Like, if you go out complain, there will be so many people questioning you that are you the one overreacting? Are you the one exaggerating the situation? Are you the one who were passing the wrong hints to them? What were you wearing? Were you underdressed? Were you overdressed? What were you wearing? Like there will be people out there who will question you only, right? So there are, before filing any complaint, there are so many thoughts that come into your mind, and there are so many things that will stop you from filing a complaint, right? As a woman, the biggest thing that will always come into your mind is the reputation damage. So the reputation damage, like what will be the society saying, like what will be the people saying, how will they react, will I lose the opportunities in my career, will I be fired out of this? So there are many questions that come into your mind before filing a complaint. So this course is basically designed to clear out all those confusions, to clarify all those doubts, that it is okay to complain. And if anything like this happens to you, or anything like this happens to someone you are in connection with, or someone you know, what is the step you need to take, and how are you supposed to react? So this is the basic purpose of this course, and what this is the basic purpose of this complete class. That today is our introductory session. So today we'll be discussing how the posh law came into picture, and what are the myths and facts about posh law, and what are the basic terms that you should know about posh law. These are the basic things that we'll be discussing in the first week of our class. So let's start with myths versus fact. Okay, so there is a biggest common myth that posh is a woman oriented law. So this is not true at all. POSH is not just a woman oriented law. Initially, yes, it was framed to protect women. Yes, it was completely designed for the protection of women. But in today's time, in today's changing dynamics of workplace dynamics, we have changing policies that have included men as well. So there are gender neutral policies that also protect men. So that is completely depending on the policies of the organizations that are taken up, and that are framed for the protection of the victims, right? Moving forward, the second most common myth is, if it's not physical, it's not harassment. Again, not true. Harassment need not necessarily be physical. It can be of so many different types. It can be of verbal, it can be non-verbal, it can be something related to gestures, it can be something related to the hostile environment, or there are many other types of harassment, which is completely, you cannot stick to the physical harassment only. So therefore, this is again a myth that it is not mandatory that if there is any physical harassment, then only the harassment is considered and covered under POSH. No, there are n number of forms of harassment, and everything is covered under POSH. Next is POSH applies only inside the office premises. Again, not true. POSH is something which is related to workplaces. So anything that is related to workplaces is covered under POSH. So anything that is happening during the course of employment or during the working hours of your employment, anything that happens during this time period is covered under POSH. So let me give you an example of this. Like if you are attending a business meeting, if you are attending a client meeting, or if you are going for a social event that is organized by your company or by your employer. So all these incidences are covered under POSH. Like many of the companies, they'll provide the transportation services, cab services. So all those durations that you were picked up from your house to the office or to the company, that duration is also covered under POSH. Moving forward is online harassment. Online harassment, initially, yes, it was not covered, but again, with the coming judgments, online harassment is also covered under POSH. What does online harassment include? It includes work from home, it includes e-communications, emails, messages, phone calls, everything that is related to the online material is also covered under POSH. Moving forward, POSH trainer or external member should be a woman or a lawyer. Again, not true. There is no specific qualification for a POSH trainer that has been specified in the POSH Act. So anyone who is from any educational background is a qualified POSH trainer. Only the thing is that they should have a complete comprehensive knowledge of the POSH Act, and they should have the certification of it. And for external members, they should have the they can be from a legal background as well as from a non-legal background, but from an NGO, from a social work background, that have been working for women development or upliftment, like that. So anyone who is not from a legal background, or who is not a woman, who is not a lawyer, can also become a POSH trainer or external member. Yes, people usually prefer a lawyer because they are they are more familiar with the laws, they are more aware of the things, and they know how to apply the law. So therefore people always prefer lawyers or advocates, but there is no such mandatory thing that only a lawyer or a woman shall be a POSH trainer or external member. Anyone can be. Moving forward, only employees can file a complaint. Again, not true. Yes, initially, of course, it was designed to protect the employees, but its scope has so widened that it includes the clients, the vendors, the interns, the any person who is in association with the workplace, working there, even visiting there, is included as an employee and can file a complaint of harassment. Okay, so these are some of the myths that we come across. Moving forward, I told you only physical contact counts. No, all forms of harassment is included. Only permanent staff are protected. Not true again. Only all the employees that are either maybe permanent, temporary, or anyone who is employed by the association, be it as an intern, be is a temporary basis, any employee that is employed for whatsoever period, is included in the POSH Act. Women can only complain about men. This is also a changing dynamic nowadays, that only women can only complain about men. No, not true again. There have been instances of same gender complaints, like a woman filing a complaint against a woman. So, yes, this is also included, that a woman can only complain that a woman can complain against any woman as well and any men as well. So there are same gender complaints also approved in the POSH Act. There are judgments that have approved this. Moving forward, harassment only happens in office. Not true again. I told you that anything, any social event, any client meeting, or anything that is in association with your employment in the course of employment, that is considered in the POSH. Again, only big companies need POSH. So you need to pay attention here that there is a segregation between the companies. Like there is an organized sector and there is an unorganized sector. So the organized sector is where there are more than 10 employees, and unorganized sector is where there are less than 10 employees, right? So the big companies will obviously be falling under organized sector. So there is no such compulsion that the small companies need not to follow the POSH. No, the small companies as well as the big companies will have to follow the POSH law. But the difference only here is that the big companies, that is more than 10 employees company, that is the organized sector, will have to have an IC committee. Whereas the small companies, that is the unorganized companies, that is less than 10 employees, will have to have a local committee, right? They will complain, the complaints will go to the local committee, and there the complaints will go to the IC, internal committee. Okay, we will be studying the detail and depth of IC, local committee, how is it constituted, and everything we'll be studying. Only these are the small myths that you should be clearing into your mind, that these all are not the actual scenarios that flourish. Next is false reports are the norms. So there are myths that false reports and false complaints have become the standard, have become the norm. So that is only the thing that will be followed. So people are scared to complain because they know if anyone will complain that is false or that is malicious, so anything of such kind happens, again the reputation damage, again the fear of losing the job, everything that comes into their mind. But let me clear this thing out for you. If there are false complaints or false claims or false reports, there are consequences, there are actions that can be taken. And people, the people who are afraid to complain because of this, and the people who misuse the POSH law have will always face the consequences. Next is reporting destroys career. No, not true again. It is completely depending on us that how are we supposed to deal with the situation. Like practically thinking about it, like if you think that if you normally go and complain about something in a court of law, like if you go through the litigation procedure, it is obviously very time consuming, it is very um expensive, and there are things that will take you years to get the judgment to, right? So ignoring or avoiding this burden of litigation and reducing the burden of litigation and having things done more easily and more conveniently, we have come up with the POSH law. So this is the basic step that if something happens, for example, will if someone passes a sexually remarked comment on you, like if someone is passing a comment on you which is inappropriate, so are we supposed to go to the court of law directly, or are we supposed to at least try dealing with the matter, like uh, complaining it to the employer or complaining it to the people who are responsible in the institution or organization only? So this is the basic reason that for small things we can act, like for this passing any comment, we could have uh, warned him, or we could have set a counseling session for him. So maybe after these things, the complaints would reduce automatically, right? So considering this situations, the basic step for introducing this POSH law was to reduce the burden of litigation and deal with the matters in the organizations itself. Like, think practically, if you go complain about ex employee that someone did this to me, so automatically the complainant, the respondent, and the one uh, and the institution or organization they are working in, everyone's reputation damage is in danger, right? Everyone's reputation is in danger. So everyone is scared of that reputation. And to have that effectively, to keep it more intact, to deal the matters within the organizations itself, this was the major motive of the POSH law, that at the initial level only we can discuss it, we can deal it in the organization and institutions itself. Okay. So these are the myths and facts that I've already told you, that it does not only protects women, it is protecting all the genders. It does not applies only to offices. It covers all the workplace. It includes remote workplace and online platforms as well. And complaints will lead to firing? No, not true at all. It ensures a fair inquiry process, and all the inquiries are conducted in such a confidential manner. Like I'll tell you, if you disclose anything that is related to the inquiry, there are fines of rupees 5,000 per disclosure. So people have to make sure, the IC members have to make sure that the inquiries are being conducted in a confidential manner. Cases are always public? No, not true again. Confidentiality has to be maintained. And yes, the POSH Act is evolving in nature. It will be adapting to new challenges as per the situations, as per the incidences. Yes, the POSH Act will be evolving. Am I clear till now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you were clear.
Is there any doubt?
Yes, ma'am. I have two questions actually. My
Yes.
first question is, can the POSH Act cover incidents occurring outside the office premises? Like the colleagues are having a party at a club, and it's not the working hours and it's not the workplace, but a sexual incident happens there.
No, actually, if it's not during the course of employment, then it is not actually covered under the POSH law, because the POSH law basically covers the things that are actually happening during the course of employment. Like if a social event that you attended was something related to your office only, like the party was organized by the employer only, then it could have included. But if
Okay.
you voluntarily have planned outside office, then it won't be covered.
Okay, if it's in an office party, then the
Yes,
person
then
can.
yes.
Okay. And my second question is, what if the alleged harasser is another woman?
Sorry.
Like a woman is complaining about, like the alleged harasser is another woman.
Okay. Like same gender complaints you're talking about?
Yes.
Yes. So recently, same gender complaints have also been recognized, because when you go through the definitions of the act, so it is clearly said that the respondent is any person, right? Respondent can be anyone, a male or a female. The definition clause itself says that a respondent is any person. So, therefore, any woman as well as male, anyone, any person, any gender can be a respondent. So, a person can complain against the same gender as well.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes. Shall we move forward?
Yes, can man.
Yes. So, let's just look on the historical background of the act. So, what was the most triggering incident that happened that gave rise to the POSH Act? So, Bhavri Devi, I don't know how many of you know about this, but Bhavri Devi, she was a grassroots worker, and she was a social worker basically. She was working under the Women's Development Program in Rajasthan. She was just performing her official duties, and she was just doing the work she was allotted, right? She was doing the things that she had been assigned. So she tried to prevent a child marriage of 1 year old girl in her village. And in return, in the response, what did she get? She was gang raped by 5 men in front of her husband. While performing her official duties, she just tried preventing the child marriage of 1-year-old girl, and in return, she was gang raped by 5 men. And the trial court acquitted all the accused due to lack of evidence. So, just because there was no evidence about it, the trial court acquitted all the accused. So, aggrieved by this decision, there was a PIL, that is, public interest litigation, was filed by a women's right group known as Vishakha. So, Vishakha was a organization or an NGO, you can call it. So that filed a PIL before the court, before the Supreme Court, in the case of Vishakha versus State of Rajasthan. So after this case, like after the case of Bhavri Devi, there were n number of challenges faced. That is, we observed that there was delay in filing the police complaint, there was delay in conducting the medical examinations, there was insensitive treatment given by the authorities, there was poor collection and preservation of evidence, there was victim blaming, social stigma. There were n number of challenges that came outside, that came into the picture, and then we felt a need that there has to be something to prevent this sexual harassment at workplaces. So, in return of this, we formulated Vishakha guidelines. The Supreme Court ordered and formulated Vishakha guidelines. So, in Vishakha guidelines, sexual harassment was recognized as, like, if any incident of sexual harassment happened, it was considered as a violation of fundamental rights under Article 14, 15, 19, 21. So, this Vishakha guidelines, basically, these were a set of guidelines, these were basically a set of rules that every institution, every establishment, every organization mandatorily had to follow. Okay. So it gave a number of things, like it mandated a safe and secure working environment. It prohibited and prevented sexual harassment with clear policies, with clear awareness programs. Anything, if such happens, there has to be a disciplinary action that was recommended against the perpetrators. What has to be the employer's duty? What has to be their initiative to protect and provide a safe, secure working environment for women? Everything that was listed in the Vishakha guidelines. Okay, I have the Vishakha guidelines PDF in detail. I'll be sharing it on the WhatsApp group. You can read it in detail. So, the Vishakha guidelines, these were the guidelines that were something which provided the basis for the POSH Act. Like it gave the definition of sexual harassment, it gave the employer's duty, the complaint redressal committee, and everything, but in a more narrow form than the POSH Act. So these were the guidelines that were to be followed. Okay. But what happened after the introduction, after the formulation of Vishakha guidelines? There were n number of cases that were still rising. The number of cases was still increasing. I have shortlisted like 3 cases I will be discussing. The first one is April Export Promotion Council versus AK Chopra. I will just brief you about the facts. So, AK Chopra, he was a senior officer, and a female employee was she complained about Mr. AK Chopra that he had made some unwelcome sexual advances during her course of employment, and he used to take her to a hotel room and tried to sit uncomfortably close to her and made repeated unwelcome advances, and he tried misusing
हेलो
his superior position. Hello.
मैम, वो लाइन आ रहा है आपका यहाँ पर, पीडीएफ दिखा रहे हो ना, ये प्रेजेंटेशन, उस पे लाइन आ रहा है, वो जरा हटाइए। रेड कलर का लाइन दिख रहा है।
Yeah, just a second.
Ma'am,
ओके,
we'll be
थैंक यू।
sharing the PPT as well
Then,
as recording, na, in the group.
yeah, it is recorded.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll be sharing the PPT as well.
Fine.
Yeah. So, where were we? So AK Chopra, yeah. So a female employee complained against him and made allegations that he used to take her to the hotel room and tried making unwelcome advances, and he was basically misusing his superior position. So the internal department inquiry found him guilty and removed him from his service. Right. So the Delhi High Court observed that there was no actual physical contact or molestation, so the employer appealed to the Supreme Court of India. But then the Supreme Court held that there is no need, there is no mandatory thing that physical contact has to be essential thing to establish sexual harassment. Any unwelcome conduct with sexual overtones that creates an intimidating or hostile work environment, that amounts to sexual harassment. So here we come again with a new form of sexual harassment, that is hostile work environment. This is a type of sexual harassment wherein which you create such a environment, such an intimidating behavior, that it creates such an environment that it is impossible for the person to focus on the work. So in this case, the Supreme Court held that physical contact is not an essential element to establish sexual harassment. The next case that we are going to discuss is Rupan Deol Bajaj versus KPS Gill. Again here, Rupan Deol Bajaj, he was an IS officer serving as the special secretary, attended an official dinner party in Chandigarh. The party was attended by KPS Gill, who was then the Director General. Again, these are the people we are talking about, are the government officials. So sexual harassment cases were still occurring in the government department itself. So the Bajaj alleged that Gill made unwelcome advances, called her repeatedly to sit beside him, and later slapped her posterior in public, causing humiliation and outrage. So she filed a complaint under Section 354 and 509 of IPC, alleging outraging the modesty and insulting the dignity of a woman. So there was a quash of FIR, and after, again, this is an example of a prolonged litigation process that was spanned for around 17 years. And after 17 years, Supreme Court upheld Gill's conviction in 2005, affirming that no person, regardless of rank or position, is above law. So this was another case where the case established that unwelcome physical conduct, even in the absence of grievous assault, can amount to sexual harassment and outrage the modesty of a woman. So sharing these case laws, I my motive here is to say that there were increasing cases even after the implementation and formulation of Vishaka guidelines. Next case that happened was Medha Kotwal versus Union of India. So despite the Supreme Court's decision in Vishaka versus State of Rajasthan, many government departments, educational institutions, private organizations failed to implement the Vishaka guidelines. I will tell you that even today, the situation is quite similar to this. Even today, even though the POSH Act has been implemented since 2013, there are so many institutions, there are so many departments, there are so many private organizations who don't even know about POSH law and who don't even have an IC committee to deal with such matters. Or if they have, they just have it on the paperwork, they just have it on the documentation to show it to the government. Rest, there is nothing happening. There are no post trainings happening, there are nothing, no awareness sessions happening, and only paperwork exists. And due to this, there is no improvement in the implementation of POSH law. Coming back to this case law, along with several other women rights organizations, there was again a PIL file, and the petitioners highlighted that there are many institutes, many workplaces that fail to constitute complainants committee, and there were that allowed retaliation against complainants and witnesses, provided no effective redressal mechanism for the same thing that I told you now, that only paperwork existed or nothing existed. So the Supreme Court monitored. Yes. So the Supreme Court monitored the compliance by directing states and union territories to file affidavits detailing the steps taken to implement the Vishaka guidelines. And the affidavits revealed widespread non-compliance. Even today, there is widespread non-compliance. The court held that Vishaka guidelines are binding and enforceable law until specific legislation is enacted. It directed all employers and governments to establish functional complaints committee and ensure strict compliance. So the judgment exposed the implementation gap in the Vishaka framework and directly accelerated the enactment of the POSH Act. So because of the cases that were increasing day by day, there was the implementation gap. I will tell you the um, gaps or the problems that we were facing. What was the need for the legislation? There was no proper implementation of Vishaka guidelines. Even though they existed, there was no appropriate implementation of Vishaka guidelines. It was initially framed that the woman at the workplace will be secured, will be felt safe, and there will be justice to these people. But there was no justice, there was denial of justice. As we saw in the case of Rupan Deol Vijay, these were the government officials, right? And in this case, in the AK Chopra case, we also saw that he was misusing his superior position, right? So the power desire, the male dominated society would always want that women will work under them, will follow their instructions and commands and work under them. So whatever they say will always be correct. So the power desire, the superiority they would always want. So this was one of the reasons that that the Vishaka guidelines were not effectively being implemented. There was no uniform procedure for the implementation. There was limited awareness. Even in today's time, there is lack of awareness, and many of the people don't know about it. So Vishaka guidelines at that time, there was quite limited awareness, and there were no specific penalties for non-compliance. Like if you did not follow, your duty as an employer, what what next? Like, what is the consequence? There was no specific penalty for its non compliance. Also, the inadequate coverage, as I told you now, workplace includes everything. Workplace includes your offices, your premise, your social events, your business meetings, everything, right? Anything that is in association with the course of employment is covered. So, there is a wide coverage for this POSH Act. So, at the time of Vishaka guidelines, there was a very narrow and there was very limited, inadequate coverage. So these were the reasons why we felt that there has to be a proper law, there has to be a structured legislation that would guide us to prevent the sexual harassment cases at the workplaces. Right. So the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace, that is Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act 2013. This act finally came into force from 9th December 2013. Okay. So now, what was the major intent behind these laws? What was the basic purpose to implement this law towards sexual harassment in India? If you basically see the other laws, like if you have studied any of the other law, you will see that there are punishments for the crime committed, right? If you commit anything, like if you commit murder, if you commit rape, anything that happens, then you will have to face the consequence, right? But this is a law which will give you preventive measures, like anything, any crime, any incident has not yet occurred, but before that we can take the preventive measures, we can take the preventive steps so that it does not happen. So the basic intention behind this law was to prevent harassment. होने से पहले ही रोकने का मोटिव था, right? So all the awareness sessions were mandated, all the POSH training sessions. So these are the basic mini steps that we can take to prevent harassment. Like if we spread more awareness, if people come to know about this law, maybe there are chances that we can prevent harassment, right? Next is to protect, of course, and again, next is to doing redressal against any such complaints. So redressal protection is like providing safe and secure space to the woman, and another is providing if something, first you will prevent, first you will take the preventive measures and you will take all the means and you will try all the means that nothing like this happens. So this was the intention, to protect the woman, right? But if Even after taking the preventive measures, if something like this happens, then what are you going to do? Then there is a redressal committee, that is IC committee, internals committee, and another is local committee. So these are the redressal mechanisms that you will be having once an incident has occurred. So, after the enactment of sexual harassment of women at workplace, the objective was to provide a safe, secure, and dignified workplace for women to prevent, prohibit, and redress acts of sexual harassment, and it was compulsory for both private and public sector organizations to ensure compliance by both. Right? Next is the applicability. Applicability means what? Where does the POSH Act apply? The POSH Act applies to the whole of India. It applies to every institution, every establishment, everything. It applies to all the workplaces that are in India. It applies to all the establishments irrespective of the number of employees, be it more than 10, be it less than 10. It is only the category of the sectors, but that is not going to affect that the POSH law is not being applicable to anything. The number of employees will not be affecting that the applicability of the POSH law. The gender of employees will not be affecting the type of industry, any type of industry, any field of industry, like be it medical, be it offices, or any kind of industry. Every kind of industries are covered. Place of operation, legal status of the establishment, every kind of establishment is covered under POSH law. Next is the applicability. Again, I earlier also told you, this is one of the points to note, that even though the organization has or has not, even though it has a female employee or not, the organization still has to comply with the POSH laws, because there can be the visitors, there can be clients who are females, right? So every organization, irrespective of its size and whether it has female employees or not, it is mandatory for them to comply with the POSH laws. Again, I have told you this segregation of the categories of the workplaces. Workplaces are divided into organized and unorganized. Organized is having 10 employees or more, unorganized is having fewer than 10 employees. So, employers in the organized sector need to constitute an internal committee, and employers falling under unorganized sector will have to approach the local committee that is constituted by the district officer at the district level for registering complaints. So this was the applicability of the act. Now let me just give you, so now till now, what have we studied? We have studied the myths and the facts. We have studied the historical background. We have studied the challenges faced. We have studied the formulation of Vishakha guidelines. We have studied the case laws that were still emerging even after the implementation of Vishakha guidelines. Then we have studied the need, what was the need for legislation. Then finally, the POSH Act was implemented on 9th December 2013. Then we studied the objective of the Act, and then we studied the applicability of the Act. Now, let me just give you the overview of the POSH Act. This is the whole Act. It is a very small Act. I'll show you. Just a minute. So, this is the bare Act of the POSH Act. It is this thin. So, this is like 28 pages, which includes 8 chapters and 30 sections. Okay. It also includes 14 rules for workplace harassment. These are the contents that I have already listed in the slide. And the first page of it, I don't know if it's visible, but the first page of it is the preamble, wherein which the statement of objects and reason has been stated. And from there, we find the chapter 1. Yes, the document is available in the PDF version. I'll be sharing it on the WhatsApp. So the overview of the POSH Act, the first chapter is preliminary, that where does it apply and all. It also includes the definitions. and the prevention of sexual harassment. These are the three sections in the first chapter. And second chapter, constitution of internal complaints committee. Third is constitution of local complaints committee. Fourth is how the complaint is to be taken. And fifth is how the inquiry is to be conducted. Sixth is the duties of the employers. Seventh is duties and powers of district officer. And eighth is miscellaneous. And along with these chapters, simultaneously, we'll need to be studying the 14 rules that are given for the workplace harassment. We'll be studying it simultaneously, and I'll be including it in my slides only. So next is silent features of the POSH Act. This is the last slide for today. From tomorrow, we'll be continuing for the constitutional and international law. This is the last slide for today. That is silent features of the POSH Act. Okay, so the POSH Act, it has a wide scope of coverage. I told you it includes so many. Just a minute. Yeah. So the POSH Act has such a wide scope of coverage, be it victim, be it workplace, be it sexual harassment. By this, what does it mean? I'll tell you. Victim is any aggrieved woman, right? So any aggrieved woman is someone who can be a domestic worker, who can be a temporary worker, permanent worker, anyone. So these are the types of victims, types of employees that are covered. So there are a number of types. In everyone who is employed is a can be a victim. Okay. Workplace, I told you the scope of workplace that it extends to the work from home, and it extends to the social events, the business meetings, everything. So there is a wide coverage for workplace as well. Sexual harassment, there is a wide coverage, as in there are different kinds, there are different forms of sexual harassment, and every form is recognized. So that is why there is a wide scope of coverage of the POSH Act. What are the more silent features of the POSH Act? That is, there is adequate time frame to file a complaint. So basically, I'll tell you when we'll be studying the inquiry procedure. At that time, I'll be telling you why is it that adequate time frame has been given to file a complaint. Next is ensuring time-bound inquiry. There is time-bound inquiry. I have told you all of this. There is confidentiality in the proceedings, and before the actual inquiry is conducted, the victim is given an option of conciliation. That do you want to deal, or would you want to settle this matter with the method of conciliation? So this is also one of the features of the POSH Act. The principles of natural justice are followed for all the non-legal backgrounds. I'll tell you the principle of natural justice are the two things that also we'll be studying. But in short, I'll tell you that no one can be a judge in their own cause, and everyone is given an equal opportunity to present themselves, right? So if a woman goes and files a complaint, it's not just that the woman be that the on the basis of the complaint of the woman we'll be taking actions. The respondent will also be given the equal chance and equal opportunity of being spoken, of being presenting themselves. Next is monetary compensation for the aggrieved woman is also provided under the POSH Act. Like this is one of the consequences or one of the recommendations that an IC provides. Next is safeguards against the false complaint. I told you that there are the similar consequences or the similar recommendations against a respondent is taken as well as against a person who has filed a false complaint if proved. Again, there are interim measures, interim relief measures like transferring someone to another place or giving them opportunity to take leave for some days. So these are the interim relief measures. We'll be studying this also in detail. There is a right to appeal in the POSH Act that if you're not satisfied with the decisions of the IC committee, you can still have the right to go and approach the court of law. There is protection from retaliation, that people are scared that they'll be losing their own jobs and there will be something that will not be in their favor. So all these things are protected in the POSH Act. Moreover, the most important that we are going to study tomorrow is the alignment with the constitutional and international obligations. So it is completely aligned with the constitutional frameworks and the international obligations that India is signatory to. So these are the features of the POSH Act. I hope I'm clear till now. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Did you understand today's session?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am. Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Yes.
Can gym be included as a workplace?
Gym.
Yes, ma'am.
Gym. Does the office premise provide you that gym?
Like the gym, like the staff members of the gym, members of the gym, like the housekeeping staff.
Yeah, housekeeping staff is also included, but gym is a totally different thing. It is not making
Like
sense.
we were talking about the organization, whether it's 10 members are there or less than 10 members, then it's an unorganized sector. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm asking, that whether gym is included in an organized sector or not.
I
If a
still am not.
Okay, let me explain you with an example. If a
Yes.
person who is working in a gym, like as a salesperson or the housekeeping keeping staff,
Okay.
whether they can file a complaint against the other person as under the POSH Act, or do they have to complain it as under the BNS only?
No, if they are employed under that gym, yes, of course they can.
That
One
was
doubt,
my
man.
question.
Suppose, sorry to interrupt you.
No
Suppose
worries, no
in,
worries.
in that gym there is a no, there is no, I mean, committee. There is no committee. So how can that person will be handled?
That is the these are the scenarios that you will be finding in most of the places, that most of the establishments and most of the organizations, they don't even know that POSH law exists. So instead of going to the IC or instead of going to the local committee, they will be directly filing the complaint to via the court of law.
So one
Yes.
more question for me, ma'am. I'm Sadish.
Yes. Yes.
Suppose there is a company around 10 to 15 members, but they don't have a committee.
Yes.
This case went to police station, but police,
Yes.
what will the police do? Either they file the
So
case or they will advise the guy to come through committee. If there is no committee, how can it will be things
yeah,
happen?
so if there is no committee, so this is completely the responsible person here is the employer, right? So first of all, the employer will be have to be facing the penalties for the non-compliance. Like the police will be charging them for the non-compliance. Like there's 50,000 rupees fine for not having an IC. Did you
One
get it?
more scenario, ma'am. Suppose
Yes.
some woman given a complaint. But before they are, suppose for example, an employee, they are both are committed due to some misunderstanding. After a few days, this employee giving, giving a complaint that HR is harassing me. In that scenario, what we need to do?
Could you please repeat your question?
Uh, Suppose an HR and as well as an employee, they are committed
Okay.
in the office itself. I mean, just in a
Okay.
scenario I'm asking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
After some days or some few months, due to some miscommunication or some happens between them, they are,
Hmm.
is the woman going and give this woman giving a complaint that the HR is, harassing him.
Okay. So
You
first
got
of
it,
all,
ma'am?
yes, yes. Like you were just saying that the employee and the HR are committed, and due to some misunderstanding, the employee goes and complain, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yes. So in this case, at the initial level, when the situations are not that serious, and it is at the initial level, the IC committee usually recommends them with a warning or would give them a counseling session that such scenarios are not to be repeated. So at initial phase, these are the two things that will be happening, like giving a warning letter and providing them with a counseling session. And if the complaint that the woman has given, and if it is proved against the person, like the HR, if it is proved,
Okay.
then the IC will be recommending the actions that they think that they are appropriate.
Suppose there is no committee at all.
No committee at all. So at that moment, when there is no committee, the employer will be responsible for non-compliance.
So they can directly give a complaint in the police station.
Yes, because and you can also complain about this thing that there is no IC in the organization.
So it's overall and the company responsibility.
Yeah, it is the company's responsibility. It is the employer's responsibility. Even as per today's time, there is a SheBox portal. This is the online portal where the employers have to register their IC. Okay, so it is their responsibility to register that. So if the people are hesitant to complain it to the IC, they can complain it via SheBox portal. Like they can log in and they can complain it online only. So if there is no IC, or if they haven't registered in the SheBox portal, you can directly complain to the police also that there is no compliance of the IC or the POSH Act.
Ma'am, is there any other committees which which will be monitoring this committee either functioning or not?
No, there is no such committee that will be monitoring it. But if you're not satisfied with the IC's decision, then you can anytime go to the court of law.
So ultimately, we need to approach if there is no committee means we need to approach the police station or court.
You can first approach the police.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
And ma'am, that you have told us that the complainant can be a male also, but the act name does not include. It specifically says that it's for women.
Yes. So I told you earlier also that initially it was designed to protect women only, but now, as per the changing times, the companies have started including things in their policies, like the POSH policy that is being framed in any company. They will be directly including that same gender complaints are recognized. Right. So if any company is recognizing the same gender complaints in their policy, then it is applicable.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Anything else?
Ma'am, can you explain the fifth point, ADR via conciliation? Can you please explain
Yeah.
also?
So ADR is alternate dispute resolution. Okay. So these are the mediums, or these are the ways that resolve matters by not going to the court of law. Like बैठ के सुलह करना बोलते हैं ना, that are the kinds of ADR, that is alternate dispute resolution, and conciliation is one of the modes of the ADR. Conciliation may be you can invite both the parties and you can sit together, you can talk to them, you can deal with the matter patiently, calmly, that this happened, that happened. With that, like while discussing with each other, while settling the matter, you can deal with the matter. That is conciliation. Did you get that?
Hello,
Yes.
I have one question. There are many
Yes.
organizations, even they don't have IC committee, they are unaware about it. So, being an advocate, how can we make them aware and what to tell them that it is important for you? If you don't follow this IC committee and POSH Act organization details, what consequences they will face?
As an advocate, you can approach them for like taking the POSH training sessions and giving them awareness about the POSH Act. Firstly, you can do this. Secondly, while giving the training sessions or talking to the employer directly, you can tell them about the consequences. Like if they do not comply with the POSH Act, they will be told to like pay for the penalty, like pay 50,000 rupees fine. But again, if there is repeatedly, like if they repeat the same thing of the non-compliance, the license of their businesses can be cancelled. So this is a big risk towards their business only.
Okay. Thanks.
Yes. Anything else?
Yeah. Yes, I have a doubt. Is my voice audible?
Yes.
Okay. So I have two questions. First thing was about the internal committee. So committee, the IC committee should have one external committee member. So for
Yes.
the biasness or favorism, something it should not be there. So one external committee member that will be any social services person, it will be better. So
Correct.
if the person can't be like an employee, internal legal person.
Sorry.
If any legal employee, like legal executive or something, that a person should, like I have one team member, employee is working as a legal executive. So can't I assign as a external committee member?
Like you're working in the organization as well?
Yes.
No, sir. Actually, external member has to be someone from someone from outside the organization.
Okay.
Yeah, this is
So
because there are principles, there are like standards that there shall be no partiality or biasness.
yes.
So
Okay.
for that reason, there has to be at least one external member that will be from outside the organization to ensure that there is no biasness between any of the decisions.
Okay.
One question,
So
ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Question is, can external member be a male for IC committee?
Yes, sir. There is no such requirement of any gender thing that there has to be mandatorily a woman or a male to comply with the external member thing. Anyone
Okay.
can be an external member.
Okay.
Yes.
so another question was, if the company is having a multiple branches or some kind of services sector. So head office is located in one location and the employees are working on the field. For example, sales persons are on ground. Okay, so the committee and everybody is in one location in the corporate office, and some other employees are working in different locations across in India, like in Pan. So is one IC committees sufficient, or do we require any other members in same other locations as
Okay, so this was something which I was also not with. Like when I had given my first POSH training session, so there were like two companies, and but same people were managing both of the companies. So they had the same question that we have two different companies, but we are the same members. So can we not have a single IC? So the
well?
problem here is that no, you cannot. First of all, you will have to have two different IC members, and you cannot overlap one IC with another with the same members as per the law. Okay, and external members of both the committees have to be different, and external members of the both the committees can be same. External member can be same, but the IC committee members will have to be different for different branches for different departments.
Okay, got it. But if
Yeah.
there is no any offices, then the
Offices
employees are
as
like no offices, like it's the only corporate office, and the other employees in Pan India, they are working like in a sales executives who is working from home and they are visiting the customer locations.
so
Some
they'll be
other.
working under some organization at least.
Yes,
Yeah, so they'll
yes,
be signed, at least they'll be signed, they will be assigned to one of the organizations, right?
yes,
So
that is
there
sufficient.
is, yeah, there is sufficient.
Got it.
Ma'am, whether the disciplinary committee will also come into picture, or only the finding of ICIC, the committee alone is sufficient, madam? Or again, the disciplinary committee has to take any action on this?
No, sir, the IC committee report whatever the IC committee reports says, that is sufficient. And also need not IC need not always give you a complete reasoning or give you a complete recommendation on what actions have to be taken. There can be a thing that no, this case was not resolved. The report can also say this.
Oh, that's what I even in my office what I see. There will be a committee, and they will be calling both the complainant as well as the respondents, and they will be asking separately first the complainant and then the respondent. I have seen, and they will be concluding with the report. And the disciplinary authority or whoever it be, the management will be taking action. But in this case, what I see, there will not be any reasonable opportunity given either to the respondent or to the complainant to contradict or corroborate their witness or evidence.
No, sir. Actually, as per my knowledge, I'll tell you the IC will call upon the respondent as well as the victim, and if any other witnesses are there, they'll also be called. There will be separate meetings as well as the meetings that will be held together. And based on the findings of that meetings, they'll be recommending some of the actions that will be taken. And
Yes,
the
yes.
actions that will be recommended it will be taken by the employer.
As but the whatever the respondent will not be given any opportunity to cross examine or contradict, or because they were simply taking the statements. They will be asking first, they are asking the complainant, and then again they are calling the respondent, and they are asking, these are the allegations, what do you say? That's all. And he will say this, and there is no opportunity given to this respondent to contradict it or to cross examine her, or to substantiate his evidence, or nothing is being given. Simply they are recording the statements as if in the court, after hearing everything in 313 examination in the criminal cases, they will be asking, what do you have to say on this, and they will pass order. The same thing is happening. Is this not injustice is being not given done to these respondents?
Correct, sir. But as per my knowledge, the respondent will, the IC committee has to give the equal opportunity to the respondent as well to
No,
present their
opportunity is
evidences,
being
to
given.
present their.
Mm, Opportunity is
No,
given only.
if he has any of the evidences or witnesses, then also he can present them.
No, ma'am. What I am saying is, say there is no evidence, there is no witness in this sexual harassment cases. Suppose
In
somebody
that
alleges me,
scenario, yeah.
somebody alleges me, and they're telling that you have harassed us. I say no. Now, how can it be concluded? At least I should be given an opportunity. When, at what time, that I have to cross-examine them. No, this only the committee that is asking them. Again, they are calling. They are not made to sit both in front of each other and allowed to ask the questions or to corroborate the evidence of the complainant or to contradict it. That is not being given here.
Correct. So that is the mechanism of the POSH Act. We are not supposed to do anything with that. That is completely based on the IC's decision, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, okay. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Ma'am, so what do you mean by local committee? As you said, when less than 10 employees, we should approach local committee. What do you mean by local committee? Who are all would be in that local committee?
So local committee will be studying local committee in detail. So in short, I'll be telling you that local committee is the committee that is constituted by the district officer. So the organizations who have less than 10 employees, they obviously, if the number of employees are less than 10, and at least there has to be 5 members in the IC committee. So how will be they forming the IC? So for them as an alternative, we have a local committee that is constituted by the district officer. I'll show you at the district level for registering complaints.
District officer in that particular place, right?
Yes. Like in every district, there is a local committee, and for the unorganized sectors, if you don't have an IC, you can go directly approach the district officer at the district level and register a complaint directly over there.
Who is appointed as a
Yes.
district officer?
That is government appointed, na sir?
Okay, okay.
Yes. Okay. Anything else? We shall then continue tomorrow. That was it for today. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Please be
ma'am.
on time tomorrow, 8 p.m.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Will you be covering She-Box portal usage and the mandatory requirements related to POSH compliance in the upcoming session? Yeah, mandatory requirements for POSH compliance, you'll be, whenever you'll be attending one or more sessions of the POSH, you'll be getting what are the mandatory compliance requirements, you'll be getting it all together only. And for the She-Box portal, I don't think there is a need to cover She-Box portal, but I'll give you one or two slides on the basic information of what it is and how is it used. I think that shall be sufficient because we have too much of things to cover. Okay? Yes. Thank you so much. I'm ending the meeting now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.